A show I want to throw out there, Ted. I'm surprised we haven't gotten your review on it, considering the publicity it's gotten and for the reasons it's gotten that publicity. The Idol on Max, formerly known as HBO Max.
Right.
So it's the same director as Euphoria, which we know you've watched that. Matt is still late to the train on that one.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much. Season 2 kind of took a jump off the deep end. But anyway, I turned on this movie or this show because it's the biggest thing going right now. Lily Rose Depp is Johnny Depp's daughter. Okay. She's the main actress in this. She's gorgeous. I'll just say that. That's maybe the only bright spot of this show. Really? It is, you know how they say, like, too much of, gluttony or whatever, where if there's too much to eat, you don't really like it as much. Like, I always found that when I was eating whatever I want on the nightly basis after work, I'm like, I don't know what to get. Like, there's so many options. It's like, I'm so sick of junk food and I just don't want any more.
Yep.
But then when you're on a diet and you have, like, your one cheat meal week, it's the best thing you ever tasted in your life.
Mm-hmm.
This show is all sex and NSFW scenes and uncomfortable scenes. It takes Euphoria, what that show had, and dials it up to a 10. It's all the show is, man. It's all the show is. And it's crazy to me, as a 24-year-old male, I'm thinking of who this show is made for. It's people my age.
Yep.
It is way too much. It's like bizarro how far they go with some of these scenes. Like, what am I watching right now? This seems more of like something Ted would have been watching in the 1970s after dark, not just
at the Duran Dirties
show that I'm watching on Sunday nights, with my parents or something. It is off-putting. It's weird. The writing is horrible. I like the cast. I think The Weeknd is getting a lot of bad rap. I don't think he's that bad. I just think it's more the writing than anything. It's just one of the worst shows I've seen in a long time. If you're watching it for one reason and one reason only, and that's because
TNA.
Exactly. So I can't believe HBO put this out. There's already rumors that there's not gonna be a season 2. It just was a big old swing and a miss. The budget's there. Judging by the cast, they spent an arm and a leg. The director, Euphoria, had some previous success. This just did not work. It's so bad to the point I need to challenge you guys to try to see how long you can watch this. Ted, you have maybe one of the best barometers for this. You'll watch just about anything until it's over.
That's true.
I would love to see if you can make it past the first 10 minutes, the first 2 scenes of this show. It comes out of the gate swinging.
The first episode?
And it's just terrible.
Well, how far have you gotten through it, first of all?
1.5 episodes, and then I called it quits.
Okay. All right.
So what I've seen, I haven't watched it. I've seen a lot of people talk about it on Twitter and similar reviews that the acting is good. I've seen people rip The Weeknd also, but then also say the same thing, that this shouldn't have been his like first burst onto the scene as an actor. Maybe he should have started with something a little more, I don't know, natural or something, a little more realistic. And Depp's daughter, same thing, like beautiful and, obviously a skilled actress, but does this fit her role, her style and all that kind of stuff is kind of what I'm seeing. So you're saying, I mean, you quit after an episode and a half. There's not anything keeping you. There's not like part of the storyline where you're like, all right, there's not one character that you're like, I like this person.
I don't know if this is supposed to be like Britney Spears or something. Like
that's what I heard.
Like, it's just, it's just weird. I don't really know how else to put it, man. So basically, your mom dies, and The Weeknd is trying to kind of basically fill this, like, basically this, damaged person. The Weeknd's basically trying to prey on her. Yeah. It just misses the mark. I think it's a good idea for a show. I mean, the pop star. I mean, I know we've never talked about it, I don't think, before, but Little Dicky has a show called Dave. Kind of the similar thought. Let's just follow this rapper or whatever through his everyday trials and tribulations, and that show is great.
I heard that was pretty good.
I think if this was just let's follow what it's like for a pop star, maybe not make it so over sexualized. Like, I think it had potential. I think Lily Rose Depp is solid. I don't think this is gonna be the last we see of her. But it's really weird, man. Like I said, I don't know what else to say other than the fact that it's like, even I was like, whoa, what am I watching right now? This is a little too much, man. I had to turn it off.
That might be some man cave viewing for me, because it doesn't sound like my wife will be watching it with me. That's for sure. So I'll give the first episode a try and see what I think. I do tend to stick with these things unless it's, like you said, just totally horrible. Is it an HBO production or is it a Max period production?
I don't know. You would know, but
I'd have to look it up.
Of HBO better than I would. I don't know.
It would be very disappointing if it was HBO stamped on it, because as we've talked about before, if it's on HBO and it's a series, it's usually pretty damn solid.
Well, that's like, I mean, you look at it on paper, you're like, oh, I see that this could be good. The cast is great. You know, you have this director who has some success with Euphoria.
Right.
But they really missed the mark.
Well, you got to have writers.
You almost wonder if they thought, with the Euphoria as the director, or the director from Euphoria, we know what went on in that show. Did they think like, maybe if we ramp it up just a little bit,
sounds like
it'll hit a little more, type of thing. And they, like you said, they just went too much over the top a little bit, because you can. I mean,
no, it is.
I mean, you like seeing, watching stuff or whatever, but when you're trying to watch a show, and be into the storyline and the acting and the characters and stuff, it can cross a line, to where you're like, what am I watching? Am I on Pornhub right now? What?